today's episode, we're going to be unboxing and demoing the Evercade EXP for your awesomeness. Please sit back and enjoy, and we're going to dive straight into it with the unboxing, and I'm going to show you the additional bits that they've thrown in. Let's go. So, here we go. We have the box, which, oh, if I can not drop it, looks really, really nice. Got some thumbnails on the back, 18 built-in games. We got the IREM cartridge with 6 games on, and obviously a lot more cartridges, as we know. Evercade do have lots of really nice physical cartridges. On the side, I am loving this Street Fighter 2 artwork. We've got Chun-Li, we've got Zangief in the background, we've got good old Ken. Oh god, I'm really throwing this box around, guys. And then some really cool box art. Loving the Mega Man stuff, especially on the other side. Hello, Molly. So, thank you again to Evercade for sending this out. Let's take a look at what is in the box. Here we go. We got the Retro Gaming Leveled Up Evercade EXP. Really nice insert. And as we pop open the box itself, we have the device, which of course we will be taking a big look at screen-wise, comparing it to the old, or the first Evercade handheld and such like as we go forward. Let's see if we can just pop this out. I want to look at this thing last, actually, so we're just going to go ahead, bang it there. Of course, here we go. We got the cartridge here. We've got all of the cables, which we'll take. Cable. We're going to have a look at the manual. We're going to have a look at the game. And we have the quick start guide, so dead easy. All of the kind of buttons, how to turn it on, what the interface buttons use, we've got the game menu here. Really nice. I think in terms of the box presentation itself, it is pretty decent. Nothing massive to shout about, but what is to shout about is this Capcom collection Evercade presents. Now, if you're new to Evercade, all of the cartridges come with physical manuals, and if you're a product of a child of the 80s and 90s, pretty much all of our games had manuals, and it was often a joke with your friends that you would smell the manuals. There was nothing nicer than popping open a game cartridge, whether it be a Sega Mega Drive cartridge, a Sega Saturn, a PlayStation, a Super Nintendo. There was always that fresh box scent when you took it out, your game for the first time. So for the built-in games, you have this really nice manual. Of course, all of the games, we've got tips, we've got controls, year released, genre, we've got the moves for Street Fighter, of course, some really nice screen grabs. This is nice. I like this. This is a lovely little caveat for the Evercade product. So, cable-wise, I'm guessing that's a charging cable, so it is USB to USB-C they've gone with. That's really nice. And of course, we'll take it out, shall we? And we'll have a little look at this thing. We have the Evercade EXP handheld itself. This is my first time holding the device. In terms of weight, it's hard to describe really. It definitely feels a lot heavier than its predecessor, and I like that because it feels a bit more expensive. I thought the other one could potentially be perceived as feeling a little bit cheap, and compared to this it does feel a lot heavier, so that's really nice. Got the D-pad, A and B buttons, because of course you can play this. You can play it this way as well, so you can play it in portrait as well as landscape. So for them, some of those shoot 'em up games, you've got this mode as well, which is really nice. You've got, of course, the X, Y, A, B, start and select menu button. Underneath, various other ports here. We have is that a stylus that right there? No, that's just a rubber bumper button. Got the volume, the USB-C, headphone jack, and then this T button. Not quite sure what that does, but we will have a little butchers. Turn it round. Got some speakers in the back. Of course, the cartridge slot, the shoulder buttons, 4 of them, of course. And again, we'll put this thing through it. This is paces, if I can get my words out today, in this video. So I think off the bat, packaging is a solid kind of 9 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with this packaging. It's great, straight to the point, no messing. We haven't got excess cardboard, over encumbering the package. This feels a lot nicer. Let's turn this thing on now. It's got the power button on the top right there. Press and hold for 2 seconds, it says. Hopefully it will have some charge. If not, we're going to run and charge this thing and come back. Here we go. It does have some charge. We have a cat that's just walked in who will probably go up into the attic. Nice. Got the Evercade EXP logo, looking good. Language select, I'm guessing it's an A button. Simple. We will not connect to the Wi-Fi just yet, but again, that will be done and tested. We'll skip it and come back to it. A little bit about the licensing, etc, etc. Of course, scanning all the way to the bottom before it lets you progress. No cartridge inserted, but this does have built-in games, does it not? Okay. Oh, there's a secret there. What is that? So it says secret. So we've gone into the settings. We've got display, theme, sound, network, accessibility, language system. We'll have a look at themes. Blue, gold, dark. Oh wow, I love that. The Evercade EXP. We have the grid, which is, you can't see it, but I will capture better footage for you. I'm hoping, because we've got the, yeah, we should have a HDMI. Is that HDMI? Maybe not. Maybe we won't capture better footage, but I'll get some stock footage nonetheless. Let's go with the Evercade EXP. Do you want to change the theme? Of course we do. So you can see off the bat, that does look 1,000 times better. Let's press the menu. Okay, so that seems like it's pretty much it. If we can kind of come out, there we go. So we've got, I'm eager to know what the secret menu is. Let's enter the secret code. Okay, perhaps we need to do a little bit more digging in this thing because I'm not quite sure what that means. Everything you see here is me going into this for the first time. Display. We have original ratio, pixel perfect, full screen, shaders and scan lines. We've got some bezels, and I love that, as you can see on the right hand side of the Evercade, it does actually show you what you've got. I love that. TATE bezels, dynamic rate control, screen dimming. There's actually a lot of customizations here, but what we want to do is test this within a game. So we've actually found it here. The hidden games are in this EXP menu, which I'll put an arrow on the screen so you can see where the EXP menu is. Let's go ahead and have a look at the Capcom collection. So we have 1942 through to 1944, Bionic Commando, Final Fight, which I'm very much looking forward to playing, Commando, Captain Commando, Breath of Fire. I love Breath of Fire. We've got Forgotten Worlds, Ghouls and Ghosts, Legendary Wings, Mega Man, Strider, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Mega Man X, Mega Man 2, of course a classic NES game. Scanning down, we've got Vulgus and Wolf of the Battlefield Mercs. Okay, so if you don't want to buy physical cartridges, again, you've got your 18 games built into this, which is easily accessed through the EXP menu. We've got hidden games, and of course, maybe some news. If we click on that, it doesn't actually do anything, but of course, there's some hidden games here that we can unlock. If I find out, after I film this, if I find out how to access the hidden games, I'll put it up on my website at juicygamereviews.com so you can have a bit of a guide in there. So, and then of course, if you've got a cartridge selected, that's cool. It's awesome. So let's test some games. And we should have the screen here. So one thing to note is this does not come with a mini HDMI cable. Not the best idea, in my opinion. It's just cost me about an hour to go and find a mini HDMI cable in order to record this footage. So just be mindful, if you're a content creator especially, or you want to put it in your TV, you need a mini HDMI cable output to a normal size HDMI to the input on the TV. So we're going to start with the built-in games, and we'll dive obviously straight in. What we'll do as well is we'll play some of these. I'm going to play them in. I'm going to demo a game with the native state, and then we're going to add some scan lines, etc., etc. So I think the first one I want to play, I'm going straight in to Final Fight. And as you can see, with every game, and this is pretty standard these days, you've got the play, save, and even a warning about flashing lights, which I really like, and then just a little bit about the game, and of course, coin limit. We are playing the arcade version. Here we go. You simply press select up, increase your credits, and then of course we're going to dive straight in. Default with Guy. Let's go. It's got a 4.3 aspect ratio. I've chosen the Rashid Loft border. He's done some work for me with this artwork here, which is my stream artwork. Okay, what we're going to do is get killed. It doesn't matter if you get killed. We'll let all the characters fight on screen. But if you press the menu button, it brings up your menu. You can save, load, etc. You've got your controls. If we head into display settings, we're going to have a little tweak around. Oops. We're going to have a little tweak around with the ratio and the scan lines. We'll keep the bezel the same. So I'm going to go with Pixel Perfect. And we're going to add some subtle scan lines and see what this is like on a side-by-side. Let's go. Okay, let's tweak some more. We'll go back to display. We'll try no scan lines and just pixel perfect. Let's have a look at what that's like. Ooh, that feels nice. That looks stunning. If you look in the top left-hand corner at the... I'm dead anyway. We'll continue. If you look at the top left-hand corner where the energy bar is, that looks crystal. For me, that's the most noticeable pixel perfection in this whole area of the screen right now. That's really nice. Let's try... We'll go full screen, strong scan lines. Actually, no, we'll go original ratio, strong scan lines, because back in the day, we never had full screens. We had the 4.3 aspect ratio, so we'll go strong scan lines, and we'll see what that looks like on the original ratio. Ooh, that takes me back, baby. That takes me back. Goodness gracious me. That kind of looks almost garish. I think for me, the best one so far is definitely, I keep pressing the wrong button, is definitely Pixel Perfect, no scan lines. For me, that is an absolute winner. But let's test out some more games now we've had a look at the display settings.
Breath of Fire for me is one of the games that are built in that I was really looking forward to. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and playing this. And of course, this is my first time trying it here with you in this episode. I'll never get tired of the 16-bit sprites. Look how gorgeous the pixel art is here. It just looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to spending more time with this. Quality opening screen right there. We're gonna go. Just go default. Default all the time. Let's do it. Let's go. Can't beat a good beat 'em up. I want to know from you guys, what is your favourite Capcom beat 'em up? I'm guessing Final Fight, of course, is going to be up there. We've already seen a bit of Final Fight in this episode. This feels really nice. Very responsive. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this little handheld fares and develops over the next couple of years.
Nice choice, mate.
Now, Mega Man X is a special one for me. Obviously, Super Nintendo. I have it on the Super Nintendo. It's not my favourite Mega Man game by any stretch, but I was given this years ago as a Christmas present from one of the shops that I did a retro game hunt at. So I've got fond memories of that kind of retro game hunt because it does remind me very much of getting Mega Man X. So yeah, we have this on a few home kind of, I guess, hybrid-y, weird handheld little mini console things now. Technical term there, guys. And again, we're back on the Super Nintendo platform. Well, actually, it's the arcade platform, but you know what I mean. And of course, the Mega Drive, because we endured and enjoyed Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Mega Drive as well. It was a bit of a disaster on the Amiga, but nonetheless, thankfully, we have solid ports on the 16-bit home computers, home consoles as well. Now, let's go.
Evercade installment. Of course, we had the Versus, but before that we also had the Evercade base handheld, which has a much duller screen. I may do some additional kind of comparisons in a future upcoming video. But this is of course the latest in the Evercade family. I think it feels surprisingly good. It felt a lot more ergonomic than the previous handheld. It's actually my favourite out of all three that came out. One of the downsides for me was getting it out the box, going to record the footage, realizing that it was a mini HDMI cable, which is unfortunately not included. So if you want to play this over Christmas with your friends and family, you need to make sure you have a long mini HDMI cable. It again does not come included, and I know that would have been, of course, to keep the cost down. So really like this. If you don't want to buy any physical cartridges, of course you have your 18 games built in from some Capcom classics. Loads of shoot 'em ups, both vertical and left to right, as well as your classics like Final Fight, which is of course one of my favourites on here. One of my favourites on here, might I just add. But if you do want to add your physical cartridges as well, all of the Evercade cartridges also work. And again, I love this because you've got like physical manuals. And if you remember back in the day, of course, this was synonymous with Sega back in the day. You got these little posters with other games on. This particular one is acting as a bit of a spreadsheet, a tick list for all of the cartridges that you need to get. And of course, we've got some artwork reminiscent of the box art on here. So it's really nice. Now, I have watched other reviewers do this, and I just want to point this very important thing out. When you put the cartridge in, some reviewers have been having a lot of difficulty getting the cartridge back out. Now, for me personally, I haven't had that problem. So I can't really comment. I mean, I don't know if it's on certain models that there were an issue, but I certainly didn't have a problem. So hopefully you won't too. I'm sure the guys over Evercade can say more on that in there. They do have a subreddit as well if you want to go check that out. So that is the Evercade EXP. It's a gorgeous little device. I like it in its native state, and of course we've got so many consoles, physical media, fully licensed games to top it all off to give you the best experience possible. So let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and of course the guys at Evercade, thank you very much for sending this unit along for free. I'm gonna leave it there. Subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, there's an Amiga cartridge coming out, so that will be getting tested also. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.